y'all doing today? Thank you for clicking on this video to find out which products I would never buy again. Yep, you heard me. I will never be buying these products again. So I hope this can spare you from wasting your money on buying these heinous products. If you have any of these products and love them, I apologize. These didn't work for me, but maybe they work for you. So please let me know if I am wrong on any of them and maybe I should give them another try. Also, I'm excited to let you know that this is a collab. Some of my favorite YouTube friends, so please check out their channel. Their names are Jasmine, Sophia, and Lourdes. I can never say your name, girl, and I'm so sorry. It's Lourdes. They also are doing videos on their least favorite makeup products that they would never buy again. So if you want to find out some other terrible products, please click on their videos. I'm going to be trying them out for you. I'm trying them all on rather than just showing you my products and talking about them. I thought that I would zoom in and show you, like, demonstrate me trying them on. That way I can remember why I hate them. I can just explain it better that way rather than just tell you, oh, I don't like this product, because that's not that helpful and that's just not nice. First, we will start with primer. I have two primers that I will never be buying again. You heard me, never. Unfortunately, they are very expensive products too that I regret. So first is Giorgio Armani Day Long Skin Perfector Trouble Zones Primer. Yes, it does pain me that I have to apply all these products that I hate, but I'm going to suffer through this for you so you can really see why I hate them. So the main reason why I hate this product, this is so heavily perfumed. I wish you could smell it. I don't know if you've ever smelled an Armani perfume, but that is so unnecessary to put into skincare because that is just not good to be putting onto your face. Although I love the scent, that is just not necessary for your face. Fragrance is very irritating, and I'm gonna try this on for you and irritate my skin so you can see. But it smells like alcohol mixed with their heavily floral scent. I don't think it's necessary to spend like $60 for their perfume and a primer. Which brings me to my next product, the Guerlain Radiance Concentrate Primer mixed with gold. One, gold is just a marketing scam. What is gold on your face going to do? This is supposed to help like blur imperfections, but I personally don't like the texture of this. This is a gel, which I do not like gel primers. It's very sheer and watery. You can see like little flecks. I don't notice that it blurs my lines. My skin immediately gets red upon applying this. So I still feel it burning. It's been 2 minutes and this is just something I never care to buy, and I don't think it's necessary to spend that much. This does not cover pimples. This does not smooth your skin. It actually makes my skin more red and irritated. It just looks very raw. I can see like a ring of redness around my face after applying this. So this has got to go. Moving on to foundation. I have 3 foundations. Obviously I can only apply one of them. So first is the Guerlain Baby Glow Light Revealing Sheer Makeup. Next is the NARS Velvet Matte Skin Tint. And lastly is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. My absolute least favorite is the NARS. Number 2 is MAC. And number 3 is Guerlain. I'm gonna apply the NARS for you. And I'm going to apply it with the Beauty Blender because this again is something that I would never buy again. I don't find it necessary to spend $20 for a Beauty Blender when you can buy the Real Techniques or Eco Tools or any other sponge that's under $5. They do the same thing. This feels a little softer, I will say. There is a slight difference, but this does just as good of a job. So again, my biggest thing with this is the smell. It smells like straight up pure nail polish remover. It's just so heavily pungent. I don't understand why. I'm getting really big into reading labels and knowing what ingredients are in my skincare, and I especially am trying to move towards safer and paraben-free makeup just because it's not irritating on my sensitive skin and it won't cause cancer. Because think about it, every product you apply on you absorbs into your skin, and if you're doing that every day, that's just something slightly concerning. You want to make sure that your products have healthy ingredients, but this is just very unhealthy ingredients. Yes, it works. It will keep my skin matte. The smell is just so heavily of alcohol. It's just very concerning, and it's actually pretty drying of my skin. Guerlain is another. Theirs smells so heavily perfumed. It actually makes me nauseous. This is a color 3 medium. I don't like the color. It has pink undertones, so it's very pinkish. And MAC, ooh, I know that a lot of people love this foundation, but I just do not really like MAC products. I don't like the ingredients in them. I really can't stand the smell of this, and I find that this product is so thick and it almost ages me because it just looks so cakey. This is also the wrong color. I got this like 3 years ago when I watched tons of YouTube tutorials and everyone was like, I'm NC45, girl. So I'm like, I need to be NC45 even though I'm not NC45. I'm like NC25. So this is so orange. I hate the color. Yes, I understand if I got my real color, maybe I would like it, but again, I don't like the smell of this. Very nauseating, and I just think their makeup's very cheap, then they don't have good skincare enhancing benefits in them. So I will never be buying the MAC Studio Fix foundation. Next, concealer. One is this LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color red. So I'm trying to squeeze it out and just a ton of water is coming out. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like really grossing me out. Do you see water? Literally water coming out. Okay, now the product's coming out. I don't like this brush applicator. This is the color red. This is actually orange, which is supposed to be very good for concealing under your eye if you have tired eyes. I'm just going to apply a tiny amount. So orange is very good for dark circles. I think this is too orange. Better if you have darker skin tones. So if you have a lighter to medium skin tone, I recommend using a peach colored. This is just a product I won't be buying again. I don't like the applicator. So now I'm going to cover it up, which brings me to concealer. I have 2 concealers I will never be buying again. One is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-hour waterproof concealer, and then the MAC Pro Longwear concealer. So Smashbox, I'll tell you, I was beyond excited to try this. I just find it to be so sheer and almost watery. It doesn't even cover up all the orange. I personally like when my concealer is a little thicker and has a little tackiness, because then I know it's going to stay. If you don't really need coverage, this would probably be a great concealer for you, but I just didn't find that it did as good of a job as the Tarte Shape Tape or the Urban Decay Naked Concealer, which I love. So I compared it to those. So compared to those, I would just never buy this again. It's just too thin and watery to me, and it just didn't have that like tackiness that I look for, just because I really like to cover and conceal my eye areas. And then next is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This is the color NC20. I just find that this doesn't have any good beneficial ingredients in it. It smells like paint, and it makes me very nervous applying that under my under eye area. This is definitely a good thick concealer and it will last. I definitely understand that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the smell mainly, and I just feel like it almost kind of ages me. You know I'm applying these, and I'm applying these in like how I apply any product. I'm not like trying to go out of my way to apply these in a bad way. And yes, they might look okay, but a lot of the time it's how they wear throughout the day, which you're not gonna really be able to see now. And it's ingredients and just how they smell and how my skin reacts to them. So if they're irritating my skin, something questionable's in there and I'm not gonna buy it again. Next is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I find it to be very drying on my skin, and especially when I set my under eye area, it just instantly ages me. It dries out my under eye area, which makes lines visible. When those aren't plump and hydrated and they get dry, then they just look crepey and you'll look old. So I find that it is very drying. It's good for oily skin. So this is not good for dry skin because it will age you and it'll just dry up your skin. It'll absorb any little bit of moisture you have on your skin. So I don't personally like it because I just find that it ages me. And last powder is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the color medium. Oh, well, mine's broken, so that's another reason I'm not buying you again. I found this to be way too powdery. I really don't like heavily powdered products, but a lot of her stuff sounds so luxurious. I will say I've definitely fallen for many of her products just by how she describes them and how she markets them. They sound heavenly, but this was too drying. It didn't help moisturize or condition my skin. It didn't help smooth it out. It just kind of magnified lines and dried out my skin. Next up, I'm going to apply an illuminator. NARS Dual Intensity Blush in the color Craving. This is a blush, like illuminator blush duo. Okay, and then the NARS brush that I recommend to buy it with, which is like a dense, compact brush. I find that these products are just not pigmented at all. At all. They say you can apply these as eyeshadows, as blush, as illuminator, and it will somewhat pick up with this, but if you're using like a fluffy brush, nothing will pick up. This won't pick up any product at all. It is just so chalky and just very hard to work with and pick up. Like, I don't like a product that I really have to get my brush in there for like a minute and then hope that it gets some payoff. because I don't notice anything that went on my cheek after all of that. Maybe the tiniest bit of color, but bottom line, this is just a lot of work, a lot of work to get anything. See, like I'm still going at it. This is my 3rd time trying, and it's not like it just subtly puts it on there. It just hardly puts it on there. These are just very dry, very chalky, and I hate the feeling when I'm running my hands over it. It just feels so chalky, and this is just a very disappointing product. I even have it in the color Vengeful, which is a gold and red duo. I even put a little red on, and the red will show up. It's very hard to work with, and I find that it's chalky and takes a long time to build up. If I use a fluffier brush for the red, it doesn't show up. I only have to use this brush. Maybe it's this brush, but I just really don't like it. I mean, you can go in slow circular motions and that will blend it out. Overall, these are just hard to work with. I like fast products that can get it on. Products that really you don't have to dread using, because I don't want them to take that long. You know, we don't have hours of our makeup. I definitely don't like this brush, and it was such a waste of money. This was like $50, and it's just too dense and compact. I don't really like using that for the cheek, and I don't know what else I would use this for, because this just takes way too long to blend out. Next product is the Becca Shadow and Light Bronze Contour. I'm gonna use this brush that I do not like. I think this is Laura Mercier, her big bronzing brush. I liked it when I first got it, but the second I washed it, game over. It's just very scratchy. The hairs are constantly falling out, but overall it's just scratchy, so it's not enjoyable to use. It just kind of hurts my face. So this is a duo. This is supposed to be like the highlighter side, and that's the bronzer. I just mix it together. I just find that this is so muddy. This might be hard to tell on top of that blush. I shouldn't have applied that blush. This is very chalky and uneven and looks very muddy. Whenever I use this, it just looks super muddy. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. The product is literally just sitting on top of the NARS blush, and it hardly is blending out, and it looks so muddy. Let me zoom in so you can see this. But it just looks like a big mud stripe on my cheek. And it's very hard to blend out. Like, I don't know if you can see the line. My face feels very itchy right now, and I think it's this brush. It's just a product I don't like having on my face, and I just feel very self-conscious now that it's on, because it looks very muddy. It's definitely not good to mix it, because this has sparkles in it, and it's now just looking even more muddy and like enhancing my pores. But this line is very hard to blend out. I'm even trying to use this airbrush brush, and it will hardly move the product. Overall, I just hate when products look muddy. Oh, I hate it. This blush by Maybelline, the Maybelline Fit Me in the color Light Mauve. Again, this is very chalky, very dry, very cheap. You can tell they spent zero money on this, and it's not pigmented at all. I'm swirling my hand in here for a long time, and it hardly picks up any. I'm like really pressing it in there. So I don't like that blush. All right, sorry about that, folks. The mailman was at the door. Morphe. Does anyone in the real world actually use this, or is this just like a YouTube sensation, fascination thing? This is an eyeshadow palette by Morphe Brushes, if you aren't familiar with Morphe. This is the 350 Morphe palette. Nothing special about the packaging. Look at the colors, which are pretty colors. And this is a very affordable palette. It's like $10, maybe 15 now, I don't know. This is something I would never buy again. I actually fell for all the Morphe marketing hype and have 3 more palettes, which I'm very ashamed of. So I have a total of 4, and I don't even think I've touched any of those. I've used this a couple times. You know, I've even tried to use this when I do my bridal clients, and this just doesn't cut it. I know that these are supposed to be very affordable, great quality for affordable price, but I don't find that these are great quality, and I'm so sorry. Again, if you love this palette, I understand, you know, you're not paying that much, so you get what you pay for. It's fine for what you pay for, but compared to like other high-end eyeshadows, and even like not so high-end, like the NYX brands, I think are way better than these. And NYX is like the same price, and you could actually get NYX at a drugstore or Target. This you have to order online. Morphe is located in California near Los Angeles. I just find that these are very chalky. Mine are inconsistent, so maybe you have a very good palette. And again, I don't like the smell. These smell like, you know, like the first makeup when you were like 4 or 5, just that really cheap, like crayon smelling makeup. Well, that's what this smells like. And obviously they don't spend a lot of money to put good things into their formula. So it just smells like really cheap crayons. It makes me nauseous just smelling it. Yes, these shimmers are very, very pigmented. And like this copper one is a pretty copper color. Like, look at that. That is crazy how pigmented they are. But this is just something I never reach for, just because I don't like the consistency. I don't like these. They're very chalky and like the transition shades. But I'll use this for this tutorial, and I'm going to be using this Japanese eyeshadow blending brush. This is my absolute least favorite eyeshadow brush. It looks fine, but whenever I use it, it's very scratchy. I'll prime my eyes to do these justice. I'm just gonna use the NYX Proof It primer, something I wouldn't buy again. It's just not as thick as that Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which I really like. I find that this is a little watery. Now I'm gonna use this for a transition shade. These have a ton of fallout, which most eyeshadows do. I'm getting it on there. This brush really hurts my eyes. I'm gonna go in with this color. And again, this might look okay, but doesn't mean I like it. I'm gonna try this brown. They blend out okay. It's not like they're awful. I think it's just mainly the smell. And just, I don't like the packaging. These just feel really cheap. I'm not gonna put this copper on my lid. Which, look at that. Which that is insanely pigmented. That's very pretty, don't get me wrong. So, here's the eyeshadows, which are beautiful. I think this looks beautiful, but I just don't like, I never reach for this. So even though it looks very pretty, this is just something it must be a personal preference. I just never reach for this palette. So honestly, I would never buy it again, but these foiled colors are very pretty. So it is good, but it's just kind of a hassle to buy. You know, they are affordable. They're just usually out of stock of that palette a lot. And I just think it's annoying how overhyped it is. I guess people like it so much because it is so affordable, and you know, for what you pay for, I guess it's a pretty good deal. But I personally, I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the ingredients. Next up is eyeliner. I have this Sephora Classic Line, their eyeliner, their 24-hour felt liner. And then I also have the Ciate Chisel eyeliner. This is what I'm gonna be using. You can see that this is an angled eyeliner brush, whereas this is just straight. Do you see the difference there? And this is supposed to like curve with your eye and help make your job easier, but this makes it 10 times harder. I hate this thing. It always thickens the line when I don't want it thick. My line ends up being like 3 times the size that I want it to be when I do this, and it drives me crazy. But I'm gonna show you. Do you see that? I honestly like when brushes can bend and move with you, and this is stiff and does not move with you. And this doesn't have a little tip. I find that at the end, this is just kind of chunky and sloppy, and I can't get that point that I really want. You can see that it's just kind of fat and it's just not really going with how I want it to go. See, see, it's just sloppy. Sloppy. So usually get frustrated and then I'll go in with like a thinner point at this point. But this is very dry. I find that this one is a little too drying. It just dried out way too fast and it doesn't move with you. I know these are both very uneven, but I just don't have time to fix them. Those are just very frustrating eyeliner pens that I don't like to work with, and they always make my job harder. So I will never be buying these again. Mascara. Least favorite mascara that I will never, ever be buying again is the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced. One, I don't like the name. I don't. Call me old fashioned, but I do not like the name. And this is a sample size. I find that mine is extremely drying, extremely flaky. I don't like the wand. You expect this to be amazing, and I have yet to really find a mascara that lives up to their hype. It's just not a good mascara. But most of all, I don't like how drying it is. My eyes always itch when I have this on. It just really dries out my lashes, The wand does a pretty good job, I guess, of getting every lash and kind of giving you a fuller lash look, but I just don't like how drying it is. It's just very irritating on my eyes and drying and flaky. I don't like when it flakes. I don't know if you ever apply a very dry mascara, you know, and you just kind of itch your eyes and kind of like to peel it off, roll it off the lash. Oh, I love doing that. Well, this is what I do with this after like an hour. It's just, I want it off and it just starts flaking and it's just not a conditioning or hydrating mascara. I just don't find that it does anything for me. Like it's just not one I enjoy. But if you enjoy it, I'm so proud of you. I really am. No false lashes for you today, but I don't care. Last, the lip. This, I haven't even opened it. I have another one open that I hate, but I'm just gonna show you the sister. This is OCC, Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics Lip Tar. 100% vegan, cruelty-free. This is in the color Hollywood. I find this is just a weird, well, I guess it's lip tar, but it's just weird. It feels very cheap and sticky to me. It comes with a brush, by the way. So I'll work from my hand, make a nice little palette here. I just find that it has a very odd smell. I hate this color. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe the other colors would be okay, but this is just a very odd, like weird 60s color for me. It's just like a little too nude, if you know what I mean. Look, I find that this doesn't spread and my lips aren't that chapped. They really aren't. This just reminds me of like cheap lip product that I would use when I was 4, maybe 6. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I was 6. It's very chalky, it's very clumpy, it's very patchy, and it smells like crayons. It literally smells and tastes like crayons, which is very concerning to me. But this is hardly moving. Maybe I should exfoliate and apply some like concealer before to get it to stay, but it's just odd. It has a lot of dyes in it, which is not good. I don't want to be concealing that, but I don't like this brush and I don't like it. I just don't like it. I do not like it. It's just patchy. It won't even fill in over here. And just kind of makes me look like I have no life. So you will never see me buying that again. Well, all right, everyone, that completes this makeup. So thank you for watching and bearing with me as I suffered through this. Now I have all this makeup on that has to stay on the rest of the day. You know when you have like bad makeup on? Ugh, I just hate that feeling. I just want to get this off, but I have to go out to dinner with a friend and I don't have time to change my makeup, so. Hey. Please let me know if you have any products that you hate and that you will never buy again. I would love to know. Again, these are just my products that I will never be buying again. Just makeup products I don't like. I tried to give a very honest tutorial for you. I didn't go out of my way to apply it in a bad way. I applied it how I would apply any product. So a lot of this comes down to personal opinion, personal preference. So I'm sorry if you guys have one of these products that you love. I understand. Let me know if you do like it and maybe you suggest a different way for me to use it. But I don't mean to offend any of you. Please check out my friends' channels and check out their makeup that they would never buy again. I'm excited to see which products they have listed, and ooh, it better not be one that I like, girl. Better not be. So again, I am Marguerite. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.